Snipers, you have to see what's happening in the cryptocurrency market today as the bulls have defended the $34,800 support level, and it is clear at this point that we are seeing accumulation occur between $35,000 and $38,000 US dollars, and it isn't a coincidence that when we go onto the 15-minute chart, when we tested 34,788, this was the exact area that we saw volume come in. We saw a lot more buyers than sellers, and I've been talking about this over the last few weeks that we are seeing accumulation occur below the $38,000 level and above the $35,000 level. And we know on the 6-hour chart, there is a lot of volume here. When we come into the $31,000 to $30,000 area, that's where we formed our initial low and then our higher low. But more importantly, you have to see what's happening to the overall market when we look at altcoins. This is exactly what I've been saying over the last few weeks, despite the masses saying that altcoin season is over. I've maintained myself saying that altcoin season is not over because we are above home base at the 20-week moving average, and we've yet to test any candles below the 20-week moving average, unlike the total market cap, and certainly unlike Bitcoin. So notice here with others' dominance today, we are starting to see upside pressure, and the first altcoin, the biggest altcoin, Ethereum, is the one that's first moving with this others dominance. You can see here above the 50-day moving average and 65,000 Satoshis, exactly as we've been talking about. If we were to maintain 65,000 Satoshis, that is the confirmation we're going to see continued strength with Ethereum against Bitcoin. And this isn't a coincidence that this is the exact area we saw this bullish engulfing occur today with this daily candle on a Saturday, where the cryptocurrency market is the most manipulated due to CME futures being closed. But more importantly, this others dominance chart. Notice how we are still above the major multi-year support level, which was a previous resistance in 2017 and in 2018. And notice here, we came up, tested this, broke through this, and this is a whole different altcoin season than what we've seen in the past. And more importantly, what I want you guys to realize is with Bitcoin dominance, we are so below the 20-week moving average at home base that it would be extremely irrational as an analyst that is trying to depict an unbiased opinion to say that we've already seen the end of altcoin season, because we've yet to get even close to home base. And so with price action and the current levels for Bitcoin dominance being so below the 20-week moving average, we are still inside of a bearish macro trend. Now, that doesn't mean when we're going to see extreme fear in the market as we are right now that we're not going to see some minor relief rallies as we've seen on the daily chart here with Bitcoin dominance coming back up, testing this 50-day moving average. But you can see we're still rejecting it, and we're so below the 20-week moving average that it would be irrational to say that altcoin season is over right now. And so we have a lot to look at today. A lot of my opinions have been going against the masses as of recent. It's not always like that, but everything is coming to fruition exactly as we've been saying here on the Snipers channel for those tuned in over the last few weeks. And so this is an extremely important weekend. The previous weekly opens are going to change tomorrow as well. For those that are tuned into my channel, I always have the previous weekly open in green. And so notice how this week and the previous weekly open was showing confluence right at that $35,700 level. And when we go into the micro time frames, that's when we can start to really understand the mindset of institutions. And so it's clear that Bitcoin really loves Starbucks, and it's enjoying its cup of coffee here between 35,000 and 38,000. But more importantly, when we go into the more micro time frames, we have to understand that every time we've come below 34,800, we've seen buyers come in. You can see this buy volume is way higher than the type of sell pressure that we saw in this area. So obviously there's accumulation occurring here. And then when we saw light volume, the path of least resistance taking us sideways, we're continuing to see volume come in at the major levels that we need to see volume come in at. And that is exactly why on the 15-minute chart, it wasn't a coincidence that as soon as we tested 34,800, the level that we've had drawn out on our chart for the last 90 days, we saw the volume come in. And so, you know, for those tuned into the Snipers channel, my numbers are extremely important on the chart. And this is such an important range right now because there is such a huge potential of downside and a potential of upside if we were to get confirmations above 38,000 or confirmations below 35,000. And so, you know, I've been saying that over the last few weeks, but today I want to get into a little bit more depth about how altcoins are going to be reacting and what type of schematics we could see play out as we open into next week and we start to see the traditional markets open up, because S&P 500 sitting at a price to earnings ratio way above 40, while coins like MakerDAO sitting at a price to earnings ratio of 17. I believe the crypto market is extremely attractive right now, especially with inflation, as we've seen with the consumer price index releasing recently, over 5% inflation. There's a lot of fundamentals leaning towards the bullish side. The technicals are looking good. There's accumulation occurring. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Abaidi. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. For those that speak any other language, we just launched Arabic, Dutch, French, German, Korean, Portuguese, Spanish, Russian, and Chinese Snipers daily videos. The links are in the description below. Subscribe to those channels. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm to help these channels get more exposure. First, I want to talk about exactly what's happening to Bitcoin. So, once again, Bitcoin really loves Starbucks. It has been sitting here having a cup of coffee, not participating in market action over the last few weeks between the major levels of 35,000 and 38,000. So at this point, we have to go into the micro time frames to understand what's occurring here in this zone. And so far, we have yet to form any further lows. We had a $30,000 initial low here on May 19th, and then we had the higher low on June 8th at 31,000 with that candle low, both at big evens. And now we've started to see the institutions come in and accumulate between 35,000 and 38,000. We talked about this yesterday. When we first came up to test 38,000, we didn't see bears come in to bring the price down. We just saw the bulls doing what they're already going to do and just pausing when it comes to buying Bitcoin. And what I mean by that is when we tested this $38,000 level, notice how no sell pressure came in. It was just the bulls saying, all right, we're just not going to want to bring the price any further up. Like I said, institutions would rather buy Bitcoin at a 10% discount than a 10% premium. And we all know 38,000 is the major level that's going to open up for volume. That's exactly why we saw the volume here. So why would they open this door to take us to 41,950 if they can still accumulate over the weekend below 38,000? That's the mindset that I'm getting from this. That's the print that I'm reading. That's the tape that I'm reading. I'm trying to be the umpire, and we have this sort of inverse head and shoulder pattern forming. We can sit here and assume the type of market structure we're seeing, but the point is we're seeing accumulation occur. We're not seeing as much sell pressure as we would expect if we were going to see further lows. We know this is a big door here that could take us to 24,000. Are we starting to see accumulation occur before a rally to the upside? We know there's a death cross coming up here with this 200 period moving average so close to the 50-day moving average. In the past, when we've seen these death crosses, we've seen Bitcoin show abnormal activity going up over 40% when that happened in 2018. Could that happen once again, taking Bitcoin back to 50,000 to test the 100-day moving average at some point or another over the next few days into the next week? That's on the table, in my opinion. It still stands true that $38,000 is going to be the confirmation. If we get above 38,000, I believe we'll see 50,000. If we get below 34,788, the door opens back up to 24,000, but just expect a lot of volatility in this area. Now, here's what's most interesting. Everyone is saying altcoin season is over, right? I've been maintaining myself, even though we did see some blood in the altcoin market as of recent, because there's been so much fear in the Bitcoin market, and that's obviously shown with the crypto fear and greed index. If you've seen that, it's been at all-time fears. We haven't seen this much fear in the market since March 2020 is pretty much what that chart tells us if we were to look at that chart. So is it fine for us to see some relief rallies here with Bitcoin dominance when there's a lot of fear in the market? 100%. It's just like gold in traditional markets. When there's fear in traditional markets, what the institutions do, they hedge into precious metals, different commodities. Now, cryptocurrencies are an option. And so the same thing works in the crypto market. We start to see fear. We see Bitcoin dominance come up a little bit. But that doesn't mean we're going to see a full-on reversal of this trend on the macro. That's what matters, right? The macro, not the micro. And the fact is, we are so below the 20-week moving average for Bitcoin dominance that with others' dominance showing strength above the 20-week moving average, we are still in a bullish trend. And this could certainly just be a bullish flag forming here for others' dominance. We've already broken a multi-year resistance, and we sort of have these lower highs forming, these lower lows. This could be a garden variety breakout, bull flag, breakout over the medium term. And so why does this matter? Well, let's see how it affects Ethereum, the most volatile and the largest altcoin in the market. We have a bullish engulfing back above 65,000 Satoshis, the major level we've been talking about over the last few weeks. anytime you see Ethereum to Bitcoin right now over the next few days above 65,000, I believe it's going to see more strength than Bitcoin. That's why Ethereum is up 2.75%, while Bitcoin's down 4% today, right? But Ethereum to Bitcoin is up 7%. So this is what affects the chart. Above this previous weekly open at 67,000 Satoshis, we're showing extreme amounts of strength against Bitcoin. And really, I think we're going to get above the monthly and weekly open at some point, test the 85,000 Satoshi level. We have EIP 1559 coming. There's a lot of strong fundamentals here for Ethereum. I think that Ethereum is still going to outperform Bitcoin over Q3 and Q4. As long as we continue to see this trend continue, you can see with Ethereum and US dollar price, just like we talked about yesterday, we maintained 23.85, and that is the positive sign that we're going to see the retest of 2,700. That opens the door to 3,400. Remember, this is a very similar channel, like with Bitcoin having the $38,000 resistance area that's going to confirm a breakout. Ethereum also has that same resistance at 2,700, and then the same way Bitcoin has the support at 34,788, that's also here on the Ethereum chart when it comes to market structure, but for the price value, it's right at that 2385 level. So if 2385 holds, then I don't think we'll see the 1980 get tested again. Now, if 2385 doesn't hold, then of course we could see a breach of 2000, but this is a strong and tight channel that Ethereum is in right now, just like Bitcoin. So that's the positive news. The total cryptocurrency market cap chart, we have this weekly candle. We're going to be watching this as it closes in the next 24 hours. If we can get back and reclaim this 20-week moving average, we just need a little bit more of a push up towards that $1.7 trillion level. That's going to be the ideal scenario and another confirmation that we're potentially going to be seeing strength. But we also have to address the fact that if it does closes below the 20-week moving average fully, then we really have to maintain this previous weekly open, which is going to reset here. And so this is going to move up here to the monthly open where there's also the weekly open. And so, we really want to monitor this total cryptocurrency market cap chart with the weekly candle close, in my opinion. This also shows confluence here with this 200-day moving average. We're holding it so far. We've already tested it a couple times, but a confirmation of seeing a retest here of the 150 period moving average for the total market cap chart would be the confirmation we're above the 20-week moving average as well. That's what we ideally want to see. If we start to break down, then that changes the schematics. But once again, if we get to 1.132 trillion, the next door is below 1 trillion. And so we've already hit over 2 trillion in total cryptocurrency market cap. Do you think it's more likely that we get back to 2 trillion or get below 1 trillion? I don't know if we'd get below 1 trillion. I think that the total cryptocurrency market cap chart has already proven itself. The industry has proven itself. And if that's not clear at this point, then I don't know why you guys are in the industry. You have to realize that this is the future of technology and finance, and everything gets built on a foundation. First, you have to renovate the financial systems before you can act on the supply and logistics systems, identification systems, right? So if you listen to my interview with Charles Hoskinson, the link is in the description below, he talked about that. The foundation of creating a decentralized economy always has to start with the financial system being decentralized, right? So with that being said, anyways, if you want to win one of my favorite books on investing, Principles by Ray Dalio, comment below and share this video. You'll have a chance to win. I'll pick a winner from our video yesterday, and we'll wrap up this video. Ani says, I got my book today. Awesome job. That's amazing. Cheese123 says, terriers are good sniffer dogs. Hope it finds all the missing puzzle pieces you talk about in your videos. That's funny. Send me a message on Instagram, Cheese. You want a book. And with that, I appreciate each and every one of you snipers tuned into our channel. It's going to be an exciting close to the week tomorrow on Sunday. We're going to monitor that total cryptocurrency market cap chart and see what happens from there. With that, until next time, snipers out.